And we now know some information about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a man, a father, a God loving husband, and his life was snubbed out for political reasons. And we can say that quite confidently now from what we have been told. I got this information, was not able to confirm it originally, but now it's been confirmed. So let's go ahead and talk about it. My name is John Crump, and I report on Second Amendment news. Don't really usually do stuff on assassinations and stuff like that. And I do call this an assassination because it was for political purposes. We're pretty sure of that now. But Charlie was a good guy, and he deserves to be remembered by everyone out there, whether you disagreed with him or not agree with him. Charlie used his freedom of speech to engage people, didn't really argue with them. He wanted to have a conversation, and he brought more people to our side than almost anyone else ever. So, Rachel will be joining me as soon as it can. I see him backstage. His camera's not on yet, so he can add himself once he comes on. But we now have some more information on the shooting, and it's been confirmed. The shooter shot him with a Mauser chambered in 30-06. The authorities, the ATF and FBI, have recovered the Mauser. They recovered it where they said they believe the shooter escaped from. Along with the Mauser, they recovered stuff written on the weapon and the casings that has to do with trans ideology. Charlie was speaking about the recent epidemic of trans violence, and that's when he was shot. So he was speaking about the trans violence that's been popping up lately, and apparently he was killed for using his freedom of speech to talk about trans violence and another act of trans violence. I don't know if the shooter was trans or not because we don't know who the shooter is, but they left messages of trans ideology. So at least we know where they stand. Some people were saying, hey, don't jump to conclusions. You know, it could be just a random person that just shot whatever. But yeah, but apparently that's not the case. If the writings or trans ideology, I am willing to go on the line in saying that the assassination, which it was an assassination, was for political purposes, which would make it an act of terrorism because terrorism is an act of violence to for political reasons, basically.
So I guess I got a weird question here. So the is it possible that whoever asked the question about trans was working with the shooter?
I doubt it.
And do you think the shooter yeah, and again, let's not try to draw any kind of conclusions. Is it possible that the shooter, and I hate to say it, was triggered? I'm not trying to make a joke or a pun here, by the commentary that was currently being discussed. Like they had a beef about trans stuff, and Charlie Kirk at the moment was talking about trans.
No, you got to think. I mean, they set up on a rooftop with a gun. They weren't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if they could hear them from 200 yards away.
No, I'm assuming they had a PA system that was. I don't know.
Yeah,
Good
but
point.
they set up. They set up. There was too much preparation.
Um, excuse me. Sorry, making the dog's breakfast.
You have an alarm for the dog's breakfast?
No, that's the microwave saying, by the way.
You cook your
So
dog's
the next I'm still look. It's the loss of Charlie Kirk. In not like the loss of anyone is reasonable, but Charlie Kirk was he wasn't inflammatory. He wasn't in, and I've seen various different liberal media saying bad things about him, trying to spin it in a negative light. He was the most polite and agreeable guy out there, and his loss is tremendous. So I heard people speculating that he had a steel plate and that it was either Spaulding or Ricochet that got him in the neck.
Yeah,
Any thoughts
I
on that?
saw a slow motion video. It I'm not gonna show it, but it looks like it entered about an inch into his neck. So I believe that it hit his artery and probably hit his spine.
Yeah. So and again, there's nothing about, like I was right about it, but when I saw that close up video and the blood pouring out of his neck, I was like, that is like near zero chance of surviving. So, and I was hoping what I saw was AI. I really was hoping that that wasn't the case, that somebody in a very bad way generated an AI video. But and I had some hope when I saw a video of him on his feet getting into a car,
Well,
getting into a black SUV.
he was being carried into that black SUV. I don't think he was on his feet.
Yeah, it was a quick clip, so I just couldn't quite
He wasn't on
tell.
his feet. He was being carried. But I just wanted to make a video to let everyone know what we know. Uh, it is domestic terrorism, or terrorism. We don't even know it's domestic terrorism. There's going to be a lot of stuff going around that's just going to be false. I did see something about a plane taking off and turning off as it's tracking whatever, but that wasn't the case. So just be cautious of some of the things that you see out there, and I would say probably the majority of the stuff that you are seeing is not true. But
So
yeah,
I kind of tuned out last night after we covered the shooting, the assassination, and finally ended in official word of Charlie Kirk's passing. I just went on basic media blackout. I didn't watch anything. Trump spoke last night. I have not seen it. I only heard this morning, just recently, that he spoke last night on it. Did
yeah.
you see it?
I did not. I did not see it. I was doing other stuff, but um,
So somebody's asking for a quick recap about what happened.
the gun was a 30-06 Mauser with trans ideology recovered from the scene. But yeah, that
So I heard written on the gun and written on the casings of the projectiles that were still in the gun.
yeah.
And not like I wish this on anyone. That's not the case. I don't wish this on the trans community. This is just really horrible. This, if it was the other way around, if it was Bernie Sanders that got shot and somebody had right wing ideology, that doesn't represent all of the people. I'm not trying to make an excuse for a group of people or anything like that. It's just a kind of a real sad thing.
I think there's a bunch of brainwashed cult people out there, and I do call them cult people. I'm not saying that
Mm-hmm.
if you're trans, you're in a cult. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that we live in a society now where a certain subset of people are taught that words are violence and it's okay to respond to words that you don't agree with, even if they're said respectfully with
Right. Right.
lethal violence. And that's something that um that's something that we 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 shouldn't accept. We shouldn't accept that it's okay to murder someone in cold blood because they said something that you disagree with. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not where we should be as a country.
Totally agree on that. That's I always revert back to it's a saying that's attributed to Voltaire. While I may disagree with what you say, I'll defend with my life your right to say it. And I think that's an important thing for just public discourse. Uh, First Amendment, you know, there is no hate speech because hate speech is the only protected speech. And we covered a First Amendment issue earlier this morning in the hearing of Matt Hoover, his appeal
Popular
that
popular speech doesn't need to be protected. Unpopular
right,
speech is what the First Amendment's for.
correct. And look at what they're doing in England.
Exactly. In Germany, they're going door to door for memes.
That's crazy. That I would in any of those countries, I'd be in jail immediately.
Yeah. It's it's it, it's not good. Political violence is never good, but maybe Charlie's organization was called Turning Point, and maybe this is a turning point.
I don't. There was I forget where it was, but there was this. It was a white guy was a shooter. He went into a Bible study at a black church, went out to his car, got a gun, and shot up a bunch of people in the church. And the immediate interviews after the event where we forgive him, I was like, whoa, you are much better of a Christian and more evolved of a Christian than I am. And I think part of that is that they knew their friends that were mowed down by this guy were going to heaven, that they accepted Jesus into their life. And going over Charlie's posts, he was, deeply Christian in his beliefs and he accepted Jesus into his life.
Yeah,
So I don't know where his family is on this, whether they're in my church, a family, they lost a daughter and they're like happy because she's with Christ.
yeah. But
So
all
I'm
right,
hoping that's where they are.
yeah, all right. I just wanted to make a video talking about what happened and what we know. And I didn't want to put out any bad information. That's why I waited until I was able to confirm that. And yeah, we were able to confirm it. So here it is. But with that, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much. Remember, um, 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 do we know where the 30.6 info and trans inscriptions were released? It's been confirmed by sources at the FBI and ATF that is 100% true. But we're gonna get out of here, guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming down in the next few days, but we're gonna see some good stuff, some bad stuff. We're gonna see a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff being expected. With that, we are out of here. Thank you for watching, and we will see everyone later. Tomorrow, I will be streaming the Tate appeal. The
Oh,
feeling,
wow.
right? Bye bye.